Hello everyone, this is Meg at Chasing Retro. Thank you for joining me today for the flip through of 5 sewing journals, sewing themed journals that I will be selling. I'm going to do this sale a little bit different than the past. I'm going to allow anyone who sees one that they would like to email me at chasingretro78@gmail.com. My email address is below. And let me know that you would like to have it. Also, if you do that, let me know a backup number just in case. Sometimes I get 2 emails at the very same time, as in the same minute, and I cannot tell. I want to be fair. So give me your first choice and your backup choice. And also let me know if you would like to purchase through Etsy or if you would like to purchase through PayPal. I can send you a PayPal invoice, which offers the same buyer and seller protection that Etsy does. The only difference is you will not have the ability, of course, to leave a review. But I do sell journals that way for folks that don't mind doing that and paying through a PayPal invoice. So let me know via email if you would like that. If all of them have not been claimed by probably Tuesday morning, I will put the remaining ones in my shop. So I'm going to show you all 5 of these. They all have names, and first come, first serve. They are all single signature. They are all fabric covered, and the base of them is a file folder, one of the heavy duty file folders. This is number 1. I'm going to back this camera up just a tad. This will be the first journal that I will be selling, and this one is named Penny. I put the name in here to remember, but you can remove this. It's just a little post-it note tab. Let me see. This one, all of them actually measure 9 1/4 by 6 2/3, and they are single signature. All of them will have one of these wrapped around them. This is just a scrappy tie made with a variety of vintage and not so vintage fabrics. Most of them are vintage though. On some torn white broadcloth. I think one of them is muslin, but the rest of them are broadcloth. And so it will have a removable tie, just tied in a bow on the top. And these are all different. I'm not going to try to match them to the journal because none of them really match perfectly. The colors in these, except for one of them, and you'll see that one, are mainly oranges, yellows, greens, and browns, just because it's sort of the 60s, 70s feel that I was going for. There is one that is a little more turquoise and pink with a little bit of purple. So that is the only one that is sort of an outlier. The backs of them are plain, just fabric covered, and the insides of them are also covered with fabric in a coordinating print. Some of them are solid inside. And so here's what it looks like from the top, and in the center I have some bead dangles coming out. These are very squishy, and I think that you could add some more stuff. They're pretty chock full, but you could always tuck in more things. I extended the bendable spine by creating some more folds with my scoreboard, so it will hold a little bit more than a regular file folder. It will extend a little bit further out. Okay, so each one has an index card, a file divider. That is the letter of the name of the book. So this one is Penny, so I have P here. And also each one of them will have some sort of embroidery that has been sewn down to a piece of fabric and or directly onto the card. So in this pocket, we have a full-size model from the front of a Work Basket magazine that's backed on the cardstock. And we have a shaker card using a buttonhole maker package. On this side, we have a digital that is a sewing basket, and I've added glossy accents to make the pins and the knitting needle and things like in the zipper sort of shiny to look metallic. And it is a little tuck spot. And then we have a flip up tag here with the sewing pattern lady. She is actually cut out of a sewing pattern, and a little bit of collage. And then this is just out of a magazine that was sort of a type of needlework. And the front and the back were both patterned, so I just cut that out as a piece of ephemera you can make something with. Here's a side pocket on a brayered page. All of the cardstock in here that's patterned that had a white back, I brayered with acrylic ink. This is a page out of a, I think it's a pattern stitch guide, just a little black and white guide. And then this is a playing card that looks like quilts, a quilted scene. And this is, I've received these in Happy Mail over a year ago. These are just really cool. There's hole punches, so it was meant for a binder. Little sewing instructions that looks like notebook paper, very 70s. And then on this page, we have some sequins sewn down with a zigzag line. Up here, we have a fabric strip that's made into a ruffle. And then each one of the journals has a sewing pattern counter catalog turned into a pocket page. So these, I think these catalogs that I used are from 1978. And here is a card. You've probably seen a lot of these because I showed them in a Ready Set Stash video, but this is another lady cut out of a pattern catalog, and I've created a journaling card with her. And this is a page out of a Singer sewing machine parts catalog from probably the late 1920s. It's very old. It's got that beautiful slick paper. So you can use that for collaging or something. And then here's a ledger page, and clipped onto here, I made an envelope out of a work basket magazine and lined it with some scrapbook paper. And then inside, I have a little journaling card with a fabric dress that I sewed down. And this has a fabric tab with a really cool vintage 70s fabric. Here is a pattern instruction sheet. This is some vintage printer paper, and I sewed a snippet of a tape measure down. This is from a sewing book that I got at my craft reuse store, and it had notes all throughout that this lady had made. So I thought that was really cool to include a page from there. Here's a fabric cluster on some yellow graph. This is just a paper strip with some decorative stitching, and this is from a quilting booklet that I received in Happy Mail with groovy 70s colors and fonts. Here's another piece from a pattern instruction that I turned into a tuck spot, and this is just a piece of ephemera of instructions for a 4-square quilted pillow, typed and photocopied. Here's some more brayered paper. And then this is Dressmaker's tracing paper. It's sort of that waxy feel. It says wax free, but it feels waxy to me, in a beautiful Kelly green. Fabric tab. This is from a, I want to say it's a Singer buttonholes instruction booklet. This is from a sewing, the Complete Family Sewing Book binder. There's one of these in each one. Engineering paper. I stamped this image on fabric and made a little stapled cluster here. This is from a guide on how to use trims, so it was how to use rickrack and things. She looks like Jodie Foster. I don't think that's her, but she has a twin. And I just love the fonts in this little booklet. Here is just a decorative page with some fabric sewn all the way around. Great way to use scraps. And here is a hexagon quilting square that I sewed down to this cardstock page. We have a double triangle corner pocket here with a journaling card with a pattern cover, Mary Martin pattern, and a variegated thread, and then a stamped guest check. This is from a art link litter game. And I stamped some flashcards. This is a little pin cushion. And these are some of my sewing term flashcards that I have in my Ko-fi shop. I'm pretty sure I have those in there. This is some tracing paper. Clipped onto this page, we have another sewing counter catalog lady on a time card tag that has a little pocket, so you can put something in here for secret journaling. And this is a quilt postcard from 1993. This is a page from a magazine about knitting. And I chose this to be the center of this journal. I could not cut that picture apart, so it was perfect to put in the middle. Here is a cluster decorated packaging card for bone rings. This is from an estate sale from a lot of the things at this sale were from the 20s and 30s. And then this is a journaling card made with the back of a pattern as its base, and then a sewing pattern lady and some collaging. Here's a belly band made with a full sheet of bias tape that I sewed down like in a Franken paper style. And then tucked in here is a mini notebook journal booklet. I guess it'd be a booklet with some packaging as its topper. Here is a pocket made from a Simplicity pattern tissue page. And then we have a fabric tag with some vintage orange yarn. And one of the altered packaging tags that I made with some writing space on the back. Here is a very old wrapper from Rick Rack, and it folds out. I've lined it with graph paper for extra journaling. Each journal has a form of stationery. So this one has a daisy postulette. Clipped here, we have a tag made from another piece of packaging and a little dry cleaning tag stuck in here and writing on the back, and then a little memo sheet in a 70s gold. Here is just a little rotating flip pad made with a brad, and I just used some scraps that I had in 70s colors. There's 4 pages here. Here's a fabric tab with little spools. A paper cluster with a little bit of yard tape measure. Not yardstick, tape measure. Here's a lace packaging, a thing that would be wrapped around lace, probably from the 80s, and I just inked around the edges and stapled it as a tab. Here's some of my faux aged acetate. Another ruffle. This sewing pattern counter catalog pocket has an ad from a 1980s era work basket for a Pfaff sewing machine, a flashcard that's been altered, and it has a little dangle of, here it is, the hook and eye, and a little snap with some stamped fabric and a little button brad, and then a little layered collage tag. Clipped here, we have a floating pocket made from a book page, and in here we have a packaging altered card, I guess, and then a stamped flashcard with some pins. And I didn't show these yet, so I don't remember where I saw this idea, but oh my goodness, it's brilliant. I saw this on YouTube. So get some fashion, you can do this with any stamps really, but get some fashion lady stamps, stamp them on plain white as they are, and then stamp them again on pattern paper and cut the dress out. You have to make sure that it's not going to be too hard to cut out later. Don't have her arm in front of her or her holding a purse or anything like that. Just the dress, and then you can cut the dress out and glue it. So this is actually 2 layers. This is glued down to the top, and it looks like they're wearing patterned clothing. So these are sort of paper dolls, if you will, and I thought I would put them in here for someone to play with. This folds out. This is a tag made with a bias tape wrapper from the 30s probably, and just a little journaling card. And on this edge I have put a zipper. Each one of them has a zipper. Okay, so this one is Penny. Oh, I forgot to show you on the front of all of them. There's a row or a cluster of sorts of buttons that I put sewing thread sewed and then glued down in the colors that match the image on the front. So that was not my idea. One of my wonderful viewers sent me that idea and I thought it was brilliant. So here is the second one. This one is named Frenchie. And like I said, this is the same measurements, roughly 9 by 6 or so. And this one has these color buttons. Here are the dangles for this one. This one has an image cut out from a vintage handkerchief. It was on very sheer fabric. And we have F for Frenchie. And here's Frenchie, I guess. Or maybe this is Frenchie. I'll let you decide. And then here's a flip tag. And a little tag that says Stitched with Love. Another sewing basket with glossy accents, and then that needlework page and a maize colored note sheet. Some brayered cardstock, engineering graph. Here's another one of those binder instructions. This is another page from that How to Embellish with Rick Rack book. Here's some tracing paper in an orangey color and a ruffle. Sewing pattern counter catalog page from the 70s. And then this lady on this large tag and the Singer machine part catalog page. This is from very, very, very old twill tape. It was a little box that I had, and I just cut the tabs off and stapled them here. Super cool 70s fabric tab. Tracing paper. A hexagon quilting piece sewn down. We have another packaging tag and a sewing pattern tag or a card with some decorative trim. A dry cleaning tag, a stamp flashcard, and a word flashcard. Here's the quilting book. Little altered packaging there and a fabric tag. Fabric cluster. Sequins. This is a little needle package that I've turned into a journaling spot. You can pull this all the way out. Flashcard, art link letter game, and playing card. The center of this one is from a vintage McCall's Sewing magazine. This is the flip out Brad card feature on this one. Stamped fabric stapled on here. Here is some scroll braid trim You can journal there. Here's the book that the lady wrote all the way through. Fabric ruffle, fabric scraps, floating pocket with the little paper doll ladies, and the knitting stitch guide, and a term flashcard, and postcard of a quilt. Belly band with bias tape and a mini notebook. And here's the stationery for this one. It's vintage currant with some mushrooms and ferns. Very fallish. Tuck spot here with a stamped guest check, and then instructions, a little piece of ephemera for a Dancing Dollies Busilla Needlecraft Kit. Tracing paper, measuring tape. This flips out. Here we have the altered math flashcard with some stamped fabrics and the button brad and the little snap. This one's not wanting to dangle, it's stuck. Little hook and eye. Well, it will come undone if you work with it. It's just twisted. And a little bit of space here to journal on the back. And then this is a vintage sewing pattern image that I made into a journaling card. And here's a little collaged tag. Here's an up-tuck pocket with a collaged card and a tag with a little pocket on the back. Here's an envelope with a little dress card. Paper cluster. A very large journaling card with an ad for how to be a fashion designer at home, study at home. And then this has a zipper at the edge of this page. And here's a shaker card with a needle package. And that is the end of Frenchie. I did show you all these buttons, right? Okay. I don't think I did. The third one is Anita. So Anita is some oranges, blues, yellows, and some orange fabric here and a little triangle this time of buttons on the bottom corner. Inside we have this beautiful embroidery from a table runner, letter A pocket, journaling cutout lady, a stamped guest check, and a flip tag. Here is the tuck spot of the sewing basket with the stitch guide and the needlework artwork. Brayered pink and yellow paper. Here's another page from the book that the lady put notes in. A vintage fabric tab. Hexagon sewn down, and then on this side we have the little extra buttons envelope that I turned into a tag. And then this is another pattern cover. Art link letter card game, and some dry cleaning tag and a flashcard. Here's the book about rickrack. Note sheet, and the piece of ephemera for this one is rather large. It is a smocked gingham cloche and pillbox hat. Instructions. Some stitched paper strips there. This is from the Work Basket magazine. Paper cluster on green graph. Here's the counter catalog pocket with this lovely lady in green. And the Singer parts page. And the stationery is a pink envelope, and inside we have some bright blue with flowers. On this side, this is a pattern tissue pocket, and we have a playing card and a stamped flash card, and all of my little dangles are being pushed to the other side. This is, oh, this one has come loose, the little... I've been having a trouble with my eyelet setter, you guys. I'm gonna leave this one out. My eyelet setter is not wanting to fully connect my eyelets anymore. I have the crocodile. I'm not sure what's going on with it. Some brayered paper. This is one of the mini booklets on this vintage computer paper. Here's the floating pocket with a flash card and 2 little paper dolls and a fabric tag with vintage calico and vintage yarn. Here's some tracing paper in a beautiful, like, robin's egg blue. A ruffle at the top this time. Scraps sewn down. This is from a McCall's magazine, and it is the center spread because these groovy ladies could not be cut apart. Here we have a packaging piece made into a tag and a little stamped flash card and an ad for Sewing Basket Club from a vintage magazine. This is from a needle package, and I just stapled it to the edge of the page as a tab. Little envelope here with a dress tag, card. That's an ad for a sewing machine. Here is the flip out cardstock stack and these beautiful 70s colors. Packaging with a little girl this time. And this lady, and there's a pocket on the back and then another packaging piece. It made me so happy to be able to save all of this packaging in these journals. Rick rack that folds out for journaling space. Stamped fabric stapled here. A side pocket with packaging made into a shaker tag with writing space on the back and a button card that has been embellished. Belly band with the bias tape and a journaling card and a quilt postcard. This folds out. Fabric cluster. And just a little journaling card and a collaged tag. And this zipper that is attached is sort of a burnt sienna color. All right, this one was Anita. Next, this is the blue and pink one. We have these beautiful buttons here in a row. This one is named Kitty because I thought she looked like a kitty. And here are the dangles. This one has some orange stitching from a tablecloth. a collage tag with rickrack and a journaling card with some variegated thread. Tuck spot with a sewing basket again with a playing card, an ad for how to recover your own shoes, and this beautiful piece here. This tab has little spools of thread on it, tracing paper, the hexagon, the double triangle pocket. We have a packaging tag here and the stamped with the bulb pin dangles. These are not wanting to participate. Here we go with the hook and eye and the little snap on the flash card. Stamped flashcard and a dry cleaning tag and an art link letter game card. This is an ad from the center of a work basket magazine. Fabric cluster. Look at this quilt, y'all. Love it. One of my fabric flashcards and some packaging with a little flip-up notepad. And then we have the little paper dolls to play with. Oops, didn't mean to knock her down. The staple caught her, I think. This zipper on the edge is a dark gray. Here is just a sewing pattern lady adorning this braid page. Oh, this had a small rip in it, so I used some washi tape to cover that. Singer parts list book page, and the stationery for this one is this groovy daisy with some metallic elements. Beautiful pink. I love lined envelopes. You don't see those very much anymore. A little stamped cluster here, and then an envelope made with the work basket page. And inside we have a dress card. Tuck spot has ephemera in a beautiful pink for cathedral window pillows. It's almost like typing paper, it's so thin. A stitched piece of paper here and a little tab. Here's some seam binding that flips out for journaling space. Vintage computer paper, a ruffle, sewing instruction page, scrap page. The tracing paper is a hot pink in this one. Here's an ad for a new sewing machine. A Vogue swimwear book page, 1972. Some ledger. This is from the McCall Sewing Magazine, and the center has these cute little girls in pink. And then here we have a shaker card with some butterflies and hexagons with a needle package. And then a little layered journaling card. Side pocket with this groovy lady on the sewing pattern image and a note sheet. A paper cluster. Here's a mini booklet. Some measuring tape sewn down. Here's a sewing pattern lady, stitch guide pages, and a quilt postcard. This flips out. Let me move her over. This flips out like the others. Beautiful bright colors. Vintage fabric tab. Just a little stapling of some vintage packaging that I had. Little envelope from Work Basket. I guess it's still, yeah, it's not glued closed. This is a time card pocket tag. And I did not put something in all the tags, but I did this one. Each journal has the same amount of ephemera, but I might have distributed it differently. This is just a little note, like a matchbook notepad. Tissue paper, tissue pocket with the Work Basket lady and a fabric tag and a flip tag. Tracing paper, a ruffle. Clipped here we have just a cardstock journaling card and an altered button card. And this one was Kitty. Last but not least, the one that looks the most like fall to me, Chrissy. Now, Chrissy's pattern topper was purple, and I didn't think it matched what they were wearing, so I cut it off, and I picked another pattern and took the topper off of it and glued it to the side. I've got these buttons here. Here are the dangles for this one. And the back looks like that. It's a beautiful printed muslin. And here is a stamped bulb pin arrangement here on the flash card. This is from a vintage napkin, I believe. Beautiful cross stitch. And then a stamped flash card and a flip tag. Tuck Spot sewing basket. This is from some packaging. And this is one of those needlepoint book pages. Here we have the time card pocket tag. She looks kind of Star Wars to me. I don't know. I don't know if it's just me. This fun fabric. This acetate, faux aged acetate. And then here we have a playing card with some quilted and then a little note sheet. Hexagon sewn down to this cardstock, and here's the triangle page with the cutout journaling card and the fabric tag, dry cleaning tag, flash card, and term flash card. A little stapled on cluster there. Tracing paper, 1978 counter catalog, the layered card, the sewing pattern lady card, and then the Singer parts list. Here's some sewn paper strip here on this yellow graph. Here's the fold out rickrack journaling spot. Here's another piece of ephemera. This is a photocopy. I didn't do the photocopy. It was in a kit that I bought, a cathedral window, and someone has very neatly in cursive written some notes. An altered button card and I guess a subscription card for the Sewing Basket Club. This is a buttonhole book page and pin cushion instructions. And here's the sewn dress. Work basket cover page. Here's a mini booklet. And the center of this one has another McCall's page in black and white this time. I'm pretty sure this is McCall's. It's either McCall's or Simplicity. Rick Rack book page, ledger, tracing paper, a ruffle at the top, sequin page, flash card, and a needle package shaker card. Those were so fun to make. Oh my goodness. Here's the flip out cardstock stack. A pocket with an altered packaging tag and a stamped guest check. Here's the measuring tape. Another altered packaging with a little flip pad. And the stationery is this really cool retro looking red envelope and an oval card with glitter. Very 70s colors. I found these at a thrift shop in Florida. Engineering paper, floating pocket with a game card, stitch guide pages, and some little paper dolls. The zipper is sort of a dark rust in this one. Here's the belly band with the bias tape and an altered packaging and a quilt card, postcard. Paper cluster. Fabric ruffle. Here's the stapled stamped fabric. Oh, this is embossed, sort of a Swiss dot type embossed cardstock. All right, that was Chrissy. So as I said, these will not be going into my shop quite yet. If you are interested in any of them, it will be a first come, first serve. Email me with your preference. Choice number 1, if you only have one, then you can just tell me one. If you have a backup choice, let me know that as well. And then you can tell me whether you prefer me to put it in Etsy as a reserve listing or if you would like to pay with a PayPal invoice. Either one is fine with me. Thank you for watching as always. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekends, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.